Scott, just another one, sorry.
Go for it. No, go for it.
So in part of your priming, what I've been doing with clients is sort of setting it up where I'll be asking you a lot of questions and I may be interrupting you. So please don't take it offensively. I just need to...
I wouldn't say that.
You don't say any of that. You just...
Yeah. Because
you make it so easy, man.
I don't want to say much. I like to be lazy because if I say I might interrupt you and you might take offense, you don't take offense to it. What am I saying? Do take offense to it.
Take offense.
Okay. I'm not going to say anything. I want to catch my client unaware.
Yeah.
Interrupting a client half midway through sentence becomes an unconscious moment. The client's like yammering on. That's the therapeutic term, yammering on. And you go, whoa, 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 whoa. You just stare at them with your hand out. They're going to look at you and go,
cataleptic.
An unconscious moment. Okay. There's a story of Erickson where he had a student walk in and Erickson got wheeled in with his wife and he went to shake Erickson's hand. He put his hand out to shake his hand and Erickson had his head down and he's telling the story. The guy was telling the story about what happened to Erickson. And he said, I stuck my hand out waiting for a handshake from Dr. Erickson. And I stood there with my hand out waiting. And it took at least a minute or two for Erickson to slowly look up at me, make eye contact, stare, and then wheel himself back out. Everyone said, well, what's good about that story? He said, I stood there for 2 or 3 minutes with my hand out. He's already in trance. So he caught a client unaware. More street hypnosis stuff, that's like an instant induction type thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to have my clients presume anything. I'm not going to say, hey, did you know that all smokers are smoking because their inner child was a smoker when they're through? I'm not going to tell them any of that stuff because they don't understand. It's irrelevant. I'm also not going to say I'm going to ask you questions. You're going to give me a response. I'm going to use what's called a process instruction. This is how Scott, you're going to explain any of that stuff. I'm just going to say prime if I want to, or what's the problem? Everything I do, I want to catch them unaware. If I'm working with somebody that could be a colleague or, this will help as well, guys, has been to another therapist or a coach before. Now they start expecting, hey, Fritz is probably going to do this. She might say this. And all of a sudden, Fritz is just looking at them smiling and they're thinking, what the fuck is going on? Why do I feel this? She hasn't even said anything. I've caught them unaware. So you've got to be careful what you prime, but also what you don't prime. Does that sort of help?
Yeah, absolutely, Scott. I've been saying too much, so I've got to get lazier.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only way to do it.
I've got to get lazier.
Yeah, because you could be missing out on all that really fun, juicy stuff when they go, oh, yeah, Ivan did tell me he was going to frustrate me, but don't take offense. Well, you know what? Fuck him. I am getting offended by this. Goes south very quickly. Makes sense?
When you do that, would it just also... Oh, sorry, Ivan.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was saying when you do that, in a way, aren't you setting them up to resist it in a way?
Yeah, it's like a surprise party where you tell, hey, David, there's a surprise party, but look surprised when you walk in. Catch them unaware. I'm not saying anything. The way we start in the ACH session, which is what's the problem, that's how I started every time. Okay, we might, and I'm not going to prime this, but it might be in the upcoming ACH training, I notice that someone starts freaking out ab reaction before we start. You might hear me automatically prime and then get into the questioning, but I'm not going to let them know about anything else.